English, channel 2 for Russian language and channel 3 for the Chinese language. After having used the interpretation device, you're requested to kindly leave it at your respective seats and we'll accordingly take it from there. You may leave it at your respective seats. Ladies and gentlemen, this year it stands extremely important for us India has entered into the Amrit Kal, that's the 25 years, the next 25 years, which is going to be leading us to celebrating our independence of 100 years celebration in 2047. These 25 years stands extremely crucial for India as we gear up across all sectors, charging from all engines to become a developed nation by 2047. And India is taking a very pro-people and a pro-planet approach with its ecology and economy going hand in hand to aiming to become the third largest economy in the world, building a more climate sensitive, clean, green and a self-reliant and a resilient growth for itself. We have representation in these 2 days, as I mentioned, of course, from our BRICS countries, but also from the non-BRICS countries, the experts joining us. From the India side, we have our distinguished heads of departments, the respected secretaries of various ministries joining us, and of course from the law firms. We're also going to be joined by representatives of the competition agencies of 10 MOU partners such as US FTC, DOJ, CB Canada. From ACCC, from EUDJ, from the Competition Commission of Mauritius, we have from CARD Brazil, from FAS Russia, from JFTC Japan, from the Egyptian Competition Authority, and of course from BRICS. We are also going to be joined in these 2 days as we take these discussions by representatives from the multilateral organizations, from World Bank, from OECD and from UNCTAD. They are also going to be joining us in these discussions. Once again, a very humble request to all our distinguished dignitaries, our delegates. May I request you to kindly be seated. If I can just request our representatives to please guide them at their respective seats. We need to just have the stage and the hall ready as we begin with the inaugural session, and shortly joining us is going to be our chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Ashok Bhushan, the chairperson of the National Competition Law Appellate Tribunal. We are also going to be joined by Shri Manoj Govilji, respected Secretary of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India. These are the two dignitaries who join us in this session. And then this is also going to be graced by the Honorable Commission heads of the other countries, from the BRICS countries. But please be seated. Please also have your mobile phones on the silent mode, please.
ये कल तो आपने ये दिया था,
मैंने हो गया
अभी देख लो, फिर मैं इधर भी कर दूँ ना। हाँ, इधर कंपनी आया है, इधर कंपनी आया है, इधर का आया नहीं, ठीक है वो ये तो NC लैट है ना। ओके।
Ladies and gentlemen, just requesting you once again to please be taking your seats. Our Honorable Chief Guest of the day, Mr. Justice Ashok Bhushan Ji, the Chairperson of the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, is going to be joining us shortly. Also joining will be Mr. Manoj Goel, the Secretary, Ministry of Corporate Affairs.
You have to tell, I've been saying, I'm requesting my representatives guide people to be as because यहाँ पर बोलने से तो हम 10 भी बोल देंगे.
This is Google.
हाँ गूगल ही बोला है.
गूगल बोला है
मैम वहाँ पे
उधर से उन्होंने वहाँ से आए गूगल ही बोला एंड आ गए.
May I just once again request people who are still standing, who are standing closer to the entry gate, to be kindly be taking their seats. And may I request Mr. Victor Oliveira Fernandez, Commissioner CARD Brazil, to please grace the dais. May I request our representatives to please escort him here on the dais, please. Mr. Maxim Shazkolsky, the head FAS Russia. Ms. Ganlin, Vice Minister of the State Administration of Market Regulation of China and the Administrator of the State Anti-Monopoly Administration China. May I request him to please grace the dais. Ms. Doris Shepe, Commissioner CCSA South Africa. May I request them to please grace the dais. And the rest of our very eminent delegates and participants, kindly be seated. We're just about to begin with the inaugural session. Kindly be at your respective seats, please. May I also request Mr. Victor Oliveira Fernandez, Commissioner CARD Brazil, to please grace the dais. I hope people who are wanting the interpretation devices, you've collected the same from our representatives. Just to reiterate, channel 1 is for English, channel 2 for the Russian language, and channel 3 for the Chinese language. Once again, requesting if Mr. Victor Oliveira Fernandez, Commissioner CARD Brazil, is present in the hall. May I request you, sir, to please grace the dais. Oh. He's here. He's coming. Very happy and delighted to be welcoming all of you. Honored to have all our eminent delegates and participants joining us. Just once again a request, we are going to be starting shortly with the inaugural session. If I can just once again request people who are standing to be kindly be taking your seats. Please also have your mobile phones on the silent mode, and especially the people who are standing very closer to the entry gate, if you can kindly make way for the other people to be joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, with a resounding applause and a deep sense of gratitude, let's welcome our chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Ashok Bhushanji, Chairperson, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. I also invite on the dais Shri Manoj Govilji, Secretary, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Government of India, and our chief guest, and Shri Govilji being accompanied here on the dais by Chairperson CCI India, Shrimati Ravneet Kaur. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Thank you. Excellencies, distinguished dignitaries, our special invitees, and all our honored guests, a very hearty welcome to all of you on behalf of the Competition Commission of India. I welcome you all to the inaugural session of the 8th BRICS International Competition Conference, which is on the theme of new issues in competition law and policy, dimensions, perspectives, and challenges. And ladies and gentlemen, as the theme itself very clearly indicates, in this globalized world, as our economies get further interconnected and digital, there are new emerging technologies, there are new age markets with mergers and acquisitions, and with climate change mitigation and sustainability at the core of our development. There are new issues, new dimensions, new perspectives which are emerging, which are offering both opportunities and challenges. And thereby it becomes incumbent upon us to reflect on these challenges and issues, to collectively look into the solutions, to look into these traditional tools, in fact rethink on them so as to shape the future of trade and global economic interdependence. And towards that, in these 2 days, we are going to be drawing inspiration from the immense pool of knowledge, wisdom, experience, and expertise which is present in this room. So many thanks to all the people who have joined us, all our national as well as international delegates. And at the very outset, we would like to express our heartfelt thanks and gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Ashok Bhushanji, the Chairperson of the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. We thank him for leading us. We thank him for his gracious presence. And I would like to request Chairperson CCI India, Mrs. Ravneet Kaur, to please accord him a floral welcome. Thank you, ma'am. And ladies and gentlemen, in this very spirit of collaboration and unity, we mark the auspicious inauguration of the conference as per the Indian traditions and customs by lighting the ceremonial lamp. And I would like to request our Honorable Chief Guest and all the distinguished dignitaries on the dais to please light the ceremonial lamp. Requesting all the dignitaries on the dais just to apprise our international delegates. This is, we begin any ceremony in the country by lighting of the ceremonial lamp, invoking the blessings of the Supreme Power. In fact, this lamp symbolizes the sharing of knowledge and wisdom. And as you can see, each wick which is going to be lit with the candle being passed from one person to another, that represents the sharing of knowledge and wisdom. We pray to the Almighty by lighting this lamp, dispelling ignorance or darkness and taking us towards light or knowledge. So let's share the fruits of our knowledge and wisdom Let's work on the unity principle, addressing some of the challenges being faced by mankind. Let's work together towards addressing it. And this is the spirit of collaboration and unity, and all of us coming together, which is symbolized by the lighting of this lamp. We work together towards our shared goals, towards our shared prosperity. Thank you, Honorable Mr. Justice. Thank you to all the dignitaries. And ladies and gentlemen, with this auspicious inauguration of our conference, I now request Chairperson CCI India, Mrs. Ravneet Kaur, to kindly open the dialogue with her welcome remarks.
Honorable Justice Ashok Bhushanji, Chairperson NCLAT, Heads of BRICS competition authorities, distinguished delegates, members from the NCLAT, various other organizations, media, ladies and gentlemen. It is my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all to the 8th BRICS International Competition Conference. We at the Competition Commission of India are delighted to host this conference and to have you here in New Delhi. It is our privilege to have amongst us Honorable Chairperson, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, who has kindly accepted our invitation to inaugurate the conference despite his busy schedule. I take this opportunity to extend our warmest welcome to the Honorable Chairperson. I extend a special welcome to our colleagues from the BRICS member countries who will not only participate in the deliberations over the next 2 days, but also have worked untiringly with us in putting together this conference agenda and the joint documents which will be released later today. You would be happy to know we have over 450 delegates present in this room at present, who are from across the globe. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 8th edition of this biennial conference. Friends, the journey of the BRICS competition authorities so far has been remarkable. We have significant achievements behind us in fostering dialogue and cooperation on long-standing and contemporary issues in competition regulation. Owing to our shared socio-economic context, this network has also given us valuable opportunity to view competition governance through the lens of the Global South. The high-quality work outcomes bear testimony to our close collaboration on common concerns and also our strong resolve to contain anti-competitive practices in the most efficient way. Under the Memorandum of Understanding between the BRICS competition authorities, the working groups in the automobile, digital, food, and pharmaceutical industries have accomplished a deeper understanding of these markets and competition policy response in these sectors. As we look ahead, we see that the rapidly evolving markets and technological advancements have given us fresh challenges and new dimensions in competition law and policy. We must adapt and respond to these changes by adding newer dimensions to our approach and assessment, by giving due regard to emerging perspectives and by sharpening our existing instruments. This year's conference, therefore, centers around the theme of new issues in competition law and policy, dimensions, perspectives, challenges. When we last hosted this conference in 2013, the Competition Commission of India was a very young organization. We were just 4 years into our existence. We were grappling with the intricacies of administering economic law. Today, a decade later, it gives me immense satisfaction to affirm that CCI has made remarkable strides, firmly establishing itself as a credible, responsive, and dynamic regulator in the eyes of stakeholders. CCI has diligently striven to strike a nuanced balance between fostering legitimate competitive strategies and denouncing anti-competitive behavior, leveraging both enforcement and advocacy as twin pillars in its journey. Over the years, the Commission's proactive actions and interventions have unveiled and rectified numerous distortions undermining competitive processes, which have ranged in the sectors of infrastructure, pharmaceuticals, real estate, entertainment, automobiles, and the financial sector. It has been the aim of CCI to effect market correction through judiciously scrutinized cases with procedural fairness. The procedures and processes have been fine-tuned in consultation with stakeholders. CCI has conducted over 1,800 competition advocacy initiatives and resolved more than 1,200 antitrust cases. It holds the distinction of scrutinizing over 1,000 mergers, acquisitions, and amalgamation filings. Today, CCI stands as one of the preeminent competition authorities worldwide, particularly in dismantling cartels to the benefit of consumers and the economy. It is heartening to note that the Union government has recently amended the Competition Act 2002, thereby significantly enriching the Commission's toolkit by introducing new instruments such as the Settlement and Commitment Framework, Leniency Plus regime, and deal value thresholds for examination of mergers and combinations. I would like to reiterate that our fundamental goal of competition is to serve the economy and the people. Therefore, the work is closely aligned with the emerging priorities of our economies. Two major imperatives facing our economies today are leveraging of digital technology and the pursuit of environmentally sustainable economic growth. Our economies have taken a leap forward towards digital transformation. Digital technology has been a force multiplier in achieving growth, inclusion, and innovation. But in a handful of cases, it has been observed that digital sector can naturally favor the growth of a handful of platforms and the kind of harm they can do to competition and consumers. We as competition authorities have a critical role to play here. Our enforcement experiences and market studies have helped us to understand these markets better. We are all upgrading, supplementing our toolkits and plugging enforcement gaps. Sharing of experiences will be crucial in optimizing our efforts to ensure digital markets remain competitive and contestable. We must also build collective capacity in the fields of artificial intelligence, blockchains, and algorithms as the digital transition progresses. The emphasis on sustainability and climate change reflects the shift towards environmentally conscious policies and practices. It has been observed that we must keep our eyes open to make sure that enterprises build green businesses without having to face anti-competitive barriers. Therefore, it is critical to have a clear framework for assessing agreements having sustainability dimensions. As we approach these issues, it is useful to have a conversation also on what guides the choice of instruments. Why and which specific cases and context we would prefer soft law enforcement mechanisms vis-a-vis legally binding force of law is a pertinent area for deliberations. The plenary and breakout sessions will bring forth these and other issues, such as the challenges in merger control, the role of market studies, and the representatives of competition authorities would add their perspectives to this discourse. My heartiest welcome to all the participants. Keeping in view our increasing cross-border dimensions of our work, we cannot afford to operate in isolation. Therefore, exchange of practical insights, evolving approaches, and best practices to address the emerging competition issues can be of immense help to each of us to enhance our effectiveness and efficiency as custodians of competition law. I look forward to some very productive exchanges over the next 2 days and hope that despite the busy conference schedule, especially the foreign delegates would be able to find time to enjoy and experience the historic city of Delhi. Once again, I welcome all the participants and I wish you a pleasant and enjoyable stay here. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am, for setting the tone and the context of this meet. And ladies and gentlemen, it's now my privilege to introduce our Honorable Chief Guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Ashok Bhushanji, Chairperson in CLAT. Ladies and gentlemen, after obtaining his law degree from the Allahabad University in 1979, Honorable Mr. Justice Ashok Bhushan started his career as an advocate with the Bar Council of Uttar Pradesh and worked as a standing counsel of several government institutions. He was elevated as a permanent judge of the Honorable Allahabad High Court in 2001. He also served as the chairman, Higher Judicial Service Committee, and headed several other committees. He was sworn in as a judge of the Honorable Kerala High Court in 2014 and as a Chief Justice thereof in 2015. He was elevated as a judge of the Honorable Supreme Court of India in 2016. As a sitting judge of the Honorable Supreme Court of India, he was appointed as the chairman of Ravi Bias Water Tribunal. He joined as the chairperson of the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal in November 2021. Sir, may I request you to kindly now deliver your keynote address.
A very good morning to all of you present in this convention hall. Srimati Ravneet Kaur, Chairperson, Competition Commission of India. Mr. Manoj Govil, Secretary, Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Mr. Victor Oliveira Fernandes, Commissioner, Brazil. Mr. Maximum Shaskulki, Head of FAS, Russia. Ms. Jan Len, Vice Minister of SAMR, Administration of State, Anti-Monopoly Administration, China. Doris Cespe, Commissioner, CCSA, South Africa. Other competition authorities from BRICS countries who are present in this inaugural session. Competition authorities of other countries who are also part of this conference. Officers of Government of India, Secretary and other officials of Competition Commission of India. BRICS delegates present in this conference. Members of National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, my colleagues who are also present in this function, senior professors of the different universities who are participating in this conference, advocates, patrons of law firms, members of the bar, distinguished guests, esteemed signatories, especially the guests from abroad, ladies and gentlemen. I feel honored to be part of the 8th BRICS International Competition Conference 2023, being hosted by the Competition Commission of India. Events like these are very important for cooperation among the BRICS competition authorities, facilitating exchange of ideas and approaches between leaders and experts in the field of competition law and policy. Competition law plays an important role in shaping the behavior of businesses, whether it is business contract, merger, takeover, coordinated actions, pricing behavior, or incentive to innovate. Competition law has assumed great importance in monitoring national and international market, and as businesses struggle to come to terms with the implications and impact of competition law, they require awareness of the significance and effect of provisions of the law. Interest in the issues of market power and cartels arose well before the 20th century. Description of the dangers of monopoly can be found in ancient Greek written sources as well as in the Bible. Adam Smith, in his Wealth of Nations 1776, made the famous remark that people of the same trade seldom meet, even for merriment and diversion, without it entering in a conspiracy to raise prices. In general, Smith warned against the negative effects of monopoly, both private monopoly and monopoly sponsored by government. BRICS is an association of 5 major emerging economies, namely Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. A similar cooperation exists between BRICS competition authorities. A MOU between the competition authorities of BRICS was signed on May 19, 2016 during the International Legal Forum held at St. Petersburg, Russia. In light of the above facts, conferences and meetings such as that we are attending current are very important for cooperation among the BRICS competition authorities, facilitating exchange of ideas and approaches between leaders and experts in the field of competition law and policy. Since its inception in 2006, BRICS Group has played a pivotal role in integrating the efforts of members on mutual cooperation, exchanges of information on legislative development, and deliberations on the issues of common interest. As the BRICS Group moves ahead on the path of economic development, it can reap the gains from value chain participation and international fragmentation of production. As trade, investment, and other areas of cooperative increase, it is imperative that we strengthen our cooperation and collaboration in the realm of competition policy as well. The BRICS International Competition Conference is being held in the backdrop of a transformed global economic landscape post-COVID-19 crisis. Careful design of support measures was critical to avoid market distortions and to safeguard healthy competition, trade and investment environment. The challenge for developing economies was not only to spur economic rebound, but also to ensure that steps towards recovery do not irreversibly alter markets. It was important that competition principles were respected along the way. The competition authorities played an important role in ensuring that enforcement and competition advocacy momentum was maintained amongst very difficult times. My congratulations to the BRICS competition authorities for the same. The BRICS economies are at varying degree of transition in which the state is relinquishing the driving seat in economic matters to markets. There is an increased belief in the ability of markets to allocate resources in an efficient manner so as to realize the growth potential of an open economy. As we all know, free and fair competition is one of the pillars of an efficient market economy. However, a free market is prone to malpractices by some players, which, if unchecked, may nullify the gains from competition. These malpractices not only adversely affect businesses, enterprises, but also end consumers. Herein comes the role of well-designed and effectively implemented competition law to protect and nurture the competitive process. It aims at reducing or eliminating impediments to competition that arise not only from private sector restrictive business practices, but also from public policy interventions. This is why many countries across the world, including developing countries, have adopted a modern competition law. It is also important to recognize that competitive landscape are shaped not only by business practices but also by policies, laws and regulations which can affect ease of entry, level playing field, etc., which are critical determinants of the extent and intensity of competition. As custodian of competition in markets, competition authorities in the BRICS countries have a critical role to play in facilitating pro-competition policy design and regulatory reform. Increasingly, exchange of views and experiences among the competition authorities as well as relevant multilateral institutions and non-government experts is now recognized as a very important part of successful implementation of competition regulations regime. The International Competition Conference has become a very important forum for discussing the various issues on competition. Since the first International Competition Conference of BRICS held in Kazan, Russia in 2009 to the 7th Conference of BRICS held at Chengdu City, Sichuan province of China, it has deliberated on various aspects of competition policy development and implementation. When we reflect on the theme of 8th conference, which are now issues in competition law and policy dimensions perspective challenges, we realize that competition policy and legislation in BRICS countries have developed significantly over the years. The theme of the conference is highly contemporary, and I am sure during these next 2 days you will have very fruitful discussions. In our fast evolving world, new challenges and dimensions have emerged that require our attention. Driven by data proliferation, digital technologies have transformed market landscape across countries. This critical gateway position of platforms and their control over data and market access points are giving rise to a range of issues emanating from information asymmetry and imbalance in bargaining power. India has joined a League of Nations that have recognized that irrespective of purported benefits of these platform-centric markets to consumers, strong antitrust enforcement is an essential element of overall public policy design governing these companies. In order to strike a delicate balance between allowing digital platform to innovate and grow while preventing anti-competitive practices that harm consumers and businesses, we must come together to develop robust mechanisms for regulating digital markets. It has to be recognized that these markets are global in nature and scope. Thus, international cooperation and exchange will be necessary to reduce the possibilities of regulatory arbitrage and to keep abreast of the regulatory developments in other jurisdictions. The session on competition analysis in digital economy, big technologies and algorithms will provide a forum for discussing effective regulatory responses and remedies. Sustainability stands out as another critical concern in the present century. Numerous countries have pledged their commitment to international accords and frameworks, including the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals and the Paris Agreement. Competition issues and substantiality consideration are often observed at odds. To compete and achieve economics of a scale, businesses may adopt strategies that adversely affect environment and hence neglect welfare of future generations. Consequently, the incorporation of sustainability into competition law has the potential to stimulate, innovate, development of cleaner technologies, renewable energy sources, and sustainable solutions across various industries. Therefore, it is imperative to emphasize that while advocating for fair competition, care must be taken to ensure that such efforts do not inadvertently undermine sustainable business practices and vice versa. Therefore, effective cooperation among the BRICS nations in striking the right balance between promoting sustainability and competition is pertinent. In order to deal with the complex challenges, I am pleased to note that this conference agenda includes a session on sustainability and climate change dimensions in competitive landscape. The past year had been special for India. The year marks the 75th year of its independence. India also became the world's 5th largest economy in the previous year. Also, for the first time, since the notification of the antitrust provisions in 2009, amendments were made to the Competition Act in response to the demands of the time as well as on the basis of enforcement experience gathered thus far. There are several reforms initiatives that the Government of India has taken to encourage creation of markets or their further deepening for achieving efficient pro-competitive outcomes. All stakeholders have strived hard to devise an economic system in India wherein various economic across are allowed to compete. The impetus given by the government to digital public infrastructure is one which I would mention. It ensures fair access, reduces barriers, promotes interoperability, and facilitates innovation creation, creating a conducive environment for businesses to compete. In the context of institutional environment, and quality of regulation is also a key factor, as it influences businesses and investment decisions. And we continuously strive to create a credible regulatory apparatus that governs markets. This event will provide a platform for fruitful discussion, exchange of knowledge and perspectives, and the coming together of minds that this conference promises. Before I conclude, I would like to mention how the ANCLAT as the appellate authority for CCI orders has contributed towards the evolving competition jurisprudence in India. This year, the ANCLAT in the case Google LLC versus Competition Commission of India partially upheld the Competition Commission of India's order against Google for abusing its dominant position in the Android mobile device ecosystem market in contravention of Section 4 of the Competition Act. ANCLAT upheld a penalty of equivalent to $161 million that the CCI had imposed on Google for anti-competitive conduct. Wrapping up my speech, I would finally like to extend my compliments to the chairperson, members and staff of the Competition Commission of India who have contributed to building the CCI as a regulatory body that has vigorously enforced the provisions of competition law while simultaneously facilitating businesses in their legitimate growth strategies. This nuanced and balanced approach to regulation is essential, especially in economics, which are on their path to becoming free market economies. Hoping that our cooperation with BRICS allows us to learn from each other's experiences and develop robust competition policies that serve the interest of our nations and their people. I look forward to productive discussions and the exchange of ideas during this conference. I wish you all a successful and fruitful conference. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very valuable insights, which will continue to guide us as we ideate, discuss, innovate, and collaborate in these next 2 days. And as we express our further gratitude to our Honorable Chief Guest, I would like to request once again Mrs. Ravneet Kaur, Chairperson CCI India, to kindly present a memento thanking our Honorable Chief Guest. Once again, sir, please accept our deep gratitude and regards to you for joining us today, for gracing the occasion, for leading our discussions and deliberations. And now I request Mrs. Anupama Anand, Secretary CCI India, to kindly propose a formal vote of thanks.
Honorable Chairman, National Company Law Appellate Tribunal, Justice Shri Ashok Bhushan, Honorable Chairperson, Competition Commission of India, Srimati Ravneet Kaur, Honorable Secretary, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Dr. Manoj Govil, Heads of BRICS Competition Authorities seated at the dais and in the audience, members of Competition Commission of India, members of NCLAT, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to you all. It is with immense gratitude and a deep sense of privilege that I stand before you today to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks on this momentous occasion, the inauguration of the 8th BRICS International Competition Conference 2023, focusing on new issues in competition law and policy. I would also like to extend our deepest gratitude to Justice Bhushan for delivering the keynote address. Sir, your emphasis on the importance of fair competition as a cornerstone for holistic economic development resonates deeply with all of us. Your admiration for the role played by the CCI in safeguarding and fostering competition is truly appreciated. Your insights have provided us with a strong foundation to explore the multifaceted aspects of competition law and policy in the modern world. Thank you, sir, for your kind words and for gracing us with your presence today. I would like to express our sincere gratitude to Srimati Ravneet Kaur, the chairperson of the Competition Commission of India, for her warm and enlightening welcome address. Ma'am, your insightful remarks have set the tone for an intellectually stimulating and productive conference. Thank you, ma'am, for your thoughtful words. I would like to thank the organizing committee and all the teams that have worked tirelessly behind the scenes to make this conference a success. Your dedication and commitment to excellence are evident in the seamless execution of this event. We at CCI deeply appreciate the valuable presence and contributions of our esteemed speakers, panelists, and delegates from the BRICS competition authorities and beyond. Your active involvement enriches this conference by bringing in a diverse range of perspectives and expertise. We eagerly anticipate the fruitful discussions and collaborations that will inevitably evolve from our interactions. A special thank you to our audience, both here in person and those joining us via the social media. Your enthusiastic engagement underscores the significance of the topics being discussed. In conclusion, let us collectively embark on this journey of knowledge exchange and collaboration with a strong sense of purpose and a dedication for nurturing healthy competition at a global stage. Together, we can actively contribute to shaping robust competition law and policy frameworks that will have a positive impact on our economies and societies. Thank you once again for your contributions, and let us now work together to ensure the resounding success of this conference. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, ma'am. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude the inaugural session. Our esteemed thanks once again to our Honorable Chief Guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Ashok Bhushanji, and all the dignitaries on the dais. Thank you to all of you also. We now break for tea, and the arrangements of tea are there in the Heart Court area. We request you to please join us for tea. And we are going to be starting with the first plenary session at 10:30. So it's going to be a short 15 minutes break. It's as you move out, we have our representatives who will guide you. Also, people who are interested in availing Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi credentials, you can take from the registration desk outside. If I may just request our dignitaries for a group photograph, probably we can have a group photograph. Just requesting our dignitaries to kindly step in front, if you can have a group photograph, and the rest of the delegates and participants inviting you all to please join us for tea. It's in the Heart Court area. A 15 minutes tea and coffee break, and then 10:30 we are going to be starting with our first session, the plenary session 1. Wi-Fi, in case you need to avail, you're requested to kindly get in touch with our representatives at the registration desk. Also, you may leave your headsets, the translation devices, at your respective seats itself. Thank you once again to Honorable Mr. Justice Ashok Bhushan ji. Thank you, sir.